Hey, before we start this video, don't forget to hit the bell icon button for more videos. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. So, guys, I was on the internet yesterday, a couple hours ago, and I ran into this channel called Tony Turn. Check out his channel. He seemed like a cool guy. And he had a video called whatever happened to male R&B singers, and he gave out his thoughts, and I wanted to give out my thoughts. Haven't really did this type of video for a long time. Why haven't I done this video? I have no idea, but we're gonna get started. Yeah, I was like, you know what? Whatever happened to R&B groups? Not groups who like are in a pop band and have R&B elements to them. We talking about strictly an R&B band, like Isley Brothers, New Edition, Jodeci, Jackson 5, and they just seem to just disappear. Uh, the only two R&B groups that I know that's there's one is still relevant, the other one's just gone. One that's still relevant is Silk Sonic. The Bruno Mars and APAC. They are doing a fantastic job with their music, with a little like 70s to 80s R&B, and it's like, okay, we hit. They did that one song. I can't think of that song. Is it Love Train? Not Love Train, but it's uh mm, dial that number. And they're doing their thing, and it's like, hey, if they break up, then no hard feelings. They both have great solo careers. And the other group is Mindless Behavior. Do you remember Mindless Behavior? They had that song, gotta see her, had to go around the world trying to meet her. Like, they just came and went. That was like the last R&B group that was somewhat relevant. Like, gotta see her, travel all across the world just to meet her. You gotta go on the internet. What happened to them, man? They was hot for a hot second and they just disappeared. But I'm gonna give out like three reasons on why both male and female R&B groups, they just are not around anymore. So number one, the label look at the R&B group as a liability. So if you have like four people, the label is kind of like, okay, we have to pay these four people separate ways, because somebody gonna get the short end of the stick. If you are like the least popular or not the handsome one, or you just the one that's in the background, label's just gonna treat you like trash. And that has happened before, man. Like Destiny's Child, New Edition. I could go on and on, man, because for some reason the label, they look at that one person who is the it factor, where it's like, okay, this is the star of the group. You guys are just the workers, and that sucks. That really sucks, though. But the labels is it's like they just choose who's the asset, and if that person leaves, if they're not like the main singer, then it's like, okay, no hard feelings. We'll just get another backup vocalist, and you know that's it. That's the end of the day. And it's kind of crappy that if you're not like the main star, you're gonna get treated less by whoever, and that's just a shame. Like, dang, like, come on, cut them some slack. They are doing their job, but if they're not, then hey. And also, groups again can be a liability. For example, what if that group member don't show up who's singing tenor or something? Like, hey, we need somebody who can sing tenor, and they're not here, X, Y, and Z. So yeah, if a certain group member is not here, it could mess up the whole dynamic. Like, heck, man, I think was it a high five when one of the group members didn't show up because he wasn't getting paid enough. So they said, all right, don't have him in the video. We're gonna have one of the dancers, and we're gonna replace him. And nobody noticed at the time. Now it's noticeable if you go on YouTube, but back then, it wasn't as noticeable. So number two, ego. Ego is a big thing with groups, because again, you have people who's telling you a lot of things behind closed doors. Like, yo, you the lead singer, you gotta go solo. You gotta do your own thing, man. You don't need the group, and that's what happens, man. Lots of times, like David Rufferman, Bobby Brown, Coco from SWV, uh, you know, Michael Jackson, like they all did like solo projects, some successful than others, and other times, sometimes they just was like, hey man, I'm kind of done with this group and I want to do something different. And it happens, man. Heck, you got people like in a group who like work super well together, but then other times you have a group that just don't work at all great together. Like I'm trying to think of like a R&B group that was like, wow, they were real cool, but they hate each other. I think I could think of one. SWV, yes, SWV. When they first started, they was cool, but during I believe their third album, their 1996 album, they hated each other. They hated each other. They didn't want to be around with each other because they had like cliques. They had their own cliques. Yes, these three ladies had their own cliques, and a lot of people was just telling them like, "Yo, go solo. Like, why she get like the best part of the song and all this other stuff?" And when you have like a lot of that cramming in your head, you be thinking to yourself like, you know what? I don't need this group. This group is trash. I pull my weight. Like everybody likes me without, Coco or Michael Jackson. There would be no Jackson 5 and SWV, or you could say the same thing with Temptations. There'll be no David Rufferman without the Temptations because nobody ain't here to see Otis. They here to see David Rufferman.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. You
Temptations. It's messed up, but yeah, like it's cold blooded, like bro. Like nobody ain't came to see the backup singers. We came to see that one person. So but so other people don't really think about that, but yeah, man, like the Temptations movie is a perfect example where David Rufferman ego was so big that he started coming late to the shows, disrespecting his bandmates, not showing up on time. So some people was like, "Yo, where David Rufferman at?" And you like, "Damn." So my last reason for R&B bands such as R&B male excuse me my last reason for R&B male and female groups no longer existing is everything became pop. If you are not like a pop group or a K-pop band, heck, or a rapper that do somewhat R&B elements, your stuff is not getting played. It seems like the R&B groups is kind of like a group that's just lost in time. Like, can you think of an R&B group now besides the one I talked about, besides Silk Sonic? Can you name somebody that's like doing R&B very well and it's just popping? They're keeping up with the rap and the pop genre, and it's just strictly R&B because it's not. Cause nowadays R&B has like a pop element to it. Gotta have like a pop or funky sound to stay relevant. Cause if it's like true R&B, it's not gonna get played as much. Like not an R&B group, but like hey Yuna. I really like Yuna. Like she's a Malaysian R&B artist, and she did some like real R&B, which was really nice. It was something different. But man, I can't really think of a R&B group that exists today that doesn't do pop, but they just do straight R&B as a group. Not somebody who's like, New Edition or Tony Tone. I'm talking about somebody brand new. And it's just non-existent, which is really sad though when you think about it, cuz back in the, let's say, up to like the since R&B been around, so let's say like the 40s all the way up to the 2000s, like the 90s was like the peak of male R&B groups where they was just everywhere. I know the 80s and the 70s they did their thing. um 70s more like a funk band, but still they were doing the thing. And then the 2000s, they were still around. I kind of feel like the 2000s, I know around, but I feel like the 2000s more of like the boy bands was copying like the R&B artists from the 90s and doing their own thing and make it poppy. Um yeah, that I feel that, they were just stealing it from us, but hey, everybody want to be black. But yeah, it kind of really got me scratching my head like, yo, whatever happened to like male and female R&B groups? It's just becoming non-existent. But anyway, people, let's get the discussion going. What happened to male and female R&B groups in your opinion? So let's get the discussion going. I'm your host Vaughn the Stampede, and I will see you guys next time. Ciao.